In normal circumstances, I would have never done this video because I'm a little bit shy and I don't like appearing on camera. But I think that something happened today that finally pushed me to make this one video once and for all. As some of you may know or may not know, in the past 2 years I've been attacked more than once about my film, The Egregores Theory. It happened first at Venice Film Festival, where it premiered, where it was the only short film that had its own paper on the wall of shame. I don't know if you know it, but there is this wall in Venice Film Festival where you can put like bad reviews, reviews of bad films, and the most clever one also wins a cup. And there was my short, which opened Venice Film Critics Week, was the only short to have its own. It said, making a film with AI does not necessarily make you cool. Change your job. And then it continued. It continued on Letterboxd, where I've received over the years very bad reviews, sometimes from very aggressive people. I had one person telling me that I should die. I had a person in Athens directly confronting me physically, shouting at me in Greek, which unfortunately I don't speak. And I couldn't understand what he was saying, but he looked quite aggressive to me. And aside from the fact that many people love the movie, there is many people who don't love the movie. And at some point, the film was nominated for Davide Donatello, and articles started appearing on public newspapers by famous journalist, film critic, whatever guy who said that the film was not made by a human, so that it didn't deserve to be in a Davide Donatello. And it was followed up by a lot of requests, a lot of interviews and articles where I had to defend my human creativity. On the one hand, I understand this, it's new, and we all have to figure out what it means for us, and it's also normal somehow that some people don't get it. On the other hand, I also know that there has been a lot of anti-AI propaganda. Somehow AI has become the symbol of the wealthy elite that have stolen from poor artists, that have taking away their jobs, and so somehow all the anti-oligarchy sentiment of the last years is being condensed into AI. And it's also very fair as a sentiment, and I also partially share it. And since I am also afraid of this instrument, I decided to explore it. And that's what I did in all my filmography. I've always tried to explore things that are unfamiliar or threatening to me. But I think that what I never really understood was that probably people don't know how much actually technical prowess and creativity you need to make AI films. Because somehow the narrative is that you write a prompt, you click, and then bam, it's done. You know, it's that easy. And since I give this for granted, then it seems absurd to me that I get accused of not being creative with this movie. But other people apparently do not see it as obvious as it is for me. I have decided once and for all to make a small video to guide you and whoever is curious to know how Egregores Theory was done. And then, this is the only way I can defend myself. I was, at some point, I cried about these attacks. I was very angry I was very upset. It was really a hard experience for me to go through all this criticism. And it peaked today, because today I received a notification from a TMDB, and apparently they deleted Egregores Theory from TMDB, the movie database, and this means that tomorrow, likely, if they don't change their mind, which I hope they will, it will disappear from Letterboxd, where more than 2,000 people logged it. There is a lot of hate, like around 200 people that voted it hated it, but there are also like 500 people who loved it. And I'm very grateful that there was a discussion around this film, and that also that so many people like this movie and appreciate it. But for those who didn't, I want to guide you a little bit through how I made this movie. And then you're going to tell me if there is no human in the loop in this thing, because my idea is that without human creativity, this film couldn't exist. Some people think otherwise. I don't know how to defend, and I thought for many days maybe I should get angry, maybe I should publicly apologize, but there is the truth is that the only way I can defend myself is by showing you how much love went into this movie. So come with me, let's make a trip into the egregores theories project. I have it in front of me, and I'm recording my screen, and I will guide you through how I did it. Let's start with the editing software. It's Premiere Pro, and this is my project. I'm a very tidy editor, and this is all the clips. Of course, the clips are all stills, and the clips have been generated with a software called Midjourney. I still have here all the generations that I have employed to make this movie. It's around, I think, 1,000 generations. They've been done throughout the film work, but you know, all in all, I think you might recognize, if you watch the film, the images from this movie. The point was to trick the AI into glitching and into making mad purposely censored image, because I want them to look like memories that have been put into a machine, chewed and spit back. And somehow this old AI allowed me to do this, to create these images. Some of the images were ready and they've been put as they are in the film. Some others were heavily photoshopped to remove things that I didn't like. For example, I can show it to you here. Let's go into the image folder. For example, here, these images that you see here that have been renamed have been heavily photoshopped by me. Like, for example, this alphabet that I composed of different alphabets, the TV screen with the alphabet inside it is done in After Effects and in Photoshop, like mixing the two images together so that I could create a new one. There is titles in the film, and all the titles and the codes animation have been made in Photoshop. I will show this to you briefly, and as it loads, I will show you also the sound folder. Here there are more than 263 sounds that I've championed around and I've arranged to be used in the film, and a lot of sounds have been generated with an AI called Optimizer, which is very old. And for example, I wanted to create a gibberish language where people would speak a language that doesn't exist, like this sound here. Then I took the sounds that to me sounded more like real language, and I created this gibberish language that is in all the film. It's also in the titles and all. The code animation that you see are actually these images here that I've generated with Midjourney. This like bashes of codes. I really wanted to create a sort of alternative operative system like this one, and then I took bits and pieces of these screens that I've generated, and I put them one after the other through photoshopping parts of them, and then putting them back into Premiere, and I've created this sequence where codes make this very strange code bashing that is like this. So this is basically a mixture of collage, stop motion and other techniques on which I overlaid different sounds that I have made. And then titles of the film. The titles of the film, if you saw it, they are made with this strange alphabet that is made basically by emulating a sort of the glyphs of a language that never existed, and it is this language of this the dystopic society where I placed the movie. And the titles have been done in the same way. I generated with Midjourney, let me see if I can find them, pictures of newspapers like these ones, for example. And I took the glyphs that I found most interesting, like the ones you see here, and then I composed the titles, making a collage of this glitchy glyphs so that they would look like film titles in an unknown language. So this was all done by hand. I put together all the pieces a little bit like a collagist would, collage artists, they take newspapers that are done by other people, typographers, graphic designers and all, they cut with scissors and they put them back together. So this is how these titles were done, putting back piece by piece all the things. I redid also the logo of Settimana della Critica in the Film Critics Week in Venice. They allowed me to redo the logo in their style. I redid the logo of EFA. I redid the logo of David Donatello so that everything in the film would look like a different world with different logics. And then this is how I have worked on the editing. Like all the pieces were put together in the editing software, so absolutely no AI used here, and the sounds and the things were all edited one by me. It's you can see it's a lot of clips. It's been actually a long journey, long work. The script, of course, has been completely written by me. You can, if you want, you can copy paste it into an AI and see what it tells you, but it actually comes even before. And what most people don't know is that the voice of the film is acted by me. I will show you. I'm very embarrassed actually to show you this because I'm very shy about this. But this is my voice acting the voice of the egregores theory.
Later, autopsies couldn't figure out which problem it was. Then, there were many more. At first, people thought they disappeared. They hung missing posters on the walls.
So what did I do? Since I shot this film with this brilliant map collector called David Ramsey, he lent me his voice. He said, you can clone me, and I transformed my voice into his voice. So when you hear it here, it's like this.
I remember it started suddenly, out of the blue. Some people died, and they said it was just a heart attack. But later autopsy.
So, this is my voice acting, and this is totally human work. Of course, I use the tool, but it's not much different than putting a reverb effect or any other effect on your voice, like pitching it down like I did for Happy New Year Jim or other movies. So just think about it for a second. This is a film that I have done most of the sound editing, then Tommaso Barbaro took over and finished it in his studio and made the mix. I have written it, I have made the voice acting, I have converted it into another voice so that it would sound nice. I put together through collage all the titles, and I made from zero the logo of my distribution, the logo of Venice Film Festival Sick at Seek. I made all the ending titles also with the same thing. I made all these animations like one by one, frame by frame, to create these code bashes. I edited the movie. I basically color corrected and made collage to fix all the images, and if they had, for example, an element I didn't like, for example, there was an extra person in the clip that I didn't like, I tried to create this grammar that would heavily employ Kuleshov effect to create a lot of off-screen space for this story, in the way that there would be a very minimal edit that would imply a lot of off-screen. And I wrote the film in English, I translated in Italian, I made Italian subtitles, English subtitles, DCPs, copies. I produced it, I raised money, I distributed it myself with my own company into festivals. I might forget something here, probably. I mean, there is music also, there is beautiful music done by Giorgio Labagnara that is here. And also, this is very funny, but every time I go to festivals, people never guess that this is the human-made music. It's wonderful. All the music is wonderful in the film, but the other two tracks are done by,
and dark, they said.
with an AI called Suno.
Prayer,
Well, this one is done by Giorgio Labagnara. So it's just to let you know that when you see an AI film and you think that it's a proxy that comes out, you just type and the film like Magic Lamp comes out. That's largely a myth. This is a film where I have done editing, writing, acting, sound editing, generating pictures with prompt, animation sequences, title design. I designed also the poster, and you can actually see it here. I think that I made the mistake of closing all the levels, but this poster was originally the figure here. Then there was a background that I did. This other background is another part. This is another part put together, and I remade the titles here and put them back into the poster. All the copies of the film in different language were done by me. So here you can see a lot of levels and things, slight color correction that is applied everywhere, and also the color correction of the film, because there was not always the same black and white, so I had to color correct it a bit. It is also done by me, also the color correction. So the thing that I ask myself is why and how I should feel attacked, delegitimized, when this film could never exist without my human work. This film could never exist in any other form, because it's a sci-fi story that would cost 250,000 euros to make normally, and nobody would give me this money. To this date, after all that we've done, I still don't win enough public fund to make stories like this. And why should I feel delegitimized, and why should someone say this film is not does not have the dignity to exist? Is it that different from an archive movie where the filmmaker finds the images and puts them back in the editing room to create a new meaning? Is this art that different from collage art? And also, on the last note, I made the calculations of how much would the environmental impact of a film like this compared to the same film of the same duration done with live action. And actually generating these images with Midjourney, you can see them here, they're like roughly 1,000 images, so not even that many. I was very economical, but generating this many images with this old algorithm that doesn't consume much actually allowed me to make a movie with 1/7 of water consumption. This is numbers I'm throwing out because I memorized it for an older masterclass and I forgot. 1/7 of water output, 1/16 of electricity output, 1/70th of CO2 output. So this film was more ecological than most, if not 99% of the short films that you see around. So there is no reason to be worried about the ecological impact of this film per se, and I really thought about it. Also, the images were released in public domain and they've been employed and used in magazines, newspapers. The film has been screened in more than 300 events, including it was selected for Davide Donatello in the final 5. It was selected for EFA. It opened Venice Film Critics Week. It did more than 90 PF festivals. It was one of the most successful short films of its season. And it's really not to brag, it's just to say that a lot of film critics, movie passionate people that daily select movies, they saw this movie and they understood how it's done and that it couldn't have been done without human creativity. So does this film deserve to be deleted from a movie database after all that it went through, after what it represents for human research? And is really AI so evil and so bad for human creativity? I cannot do anything but leave you the word after this explanation, and I hope that it will help you having a less angry and approach to questions that are transformative and very important for the future of art. Because as much as it might sound fascinating to see people shouting fuck AI, think about it. Who are they saying fuck to? Are they only saying fuck to wealthy oligarchs, or are they also saying fuck to a lot of artists who never had the chance to pay for a course for School of Cinema, who don't have the means to produce a film, who are in countries with very low industrial output, who didn't win public funding, who don't have producers, who are just very shy or neurodivergent, or they are disabled and they cannot develop their film career? Who are these people saying fuck to? And is this film made by a robot? I leave you the answer, and I hope that this video was nice to follow, and that I could really once and for all answer to all the people who tell me that I don't love cinema. And on a larger note, just because I'm here and I would love to share some more things with you, this marks my 10th year of filmmaking, and I'm very happy because I didn't only do AI generated movies and machinimas, which are very low budget and avant-garde, but we produced a lot of different stuff. We produced live action films, we produced 3 features, we produced 2 documentaries and 1 fiction film that traveled around the world, which were live action shot with cameras and actors and non-actors. We produced stop motion film, an animation that is on YouTube if you want to see it. It has 1 million views. It's called Black Eyed Dog. I produced documentaries that were shot by me and that had my cinematography. I started as cinematographer, and I got also nominated for Golden Frog for cinematography. This means that I know how to use a camera. I know how to make films. I come from very technical background. I started working as graphic designer at 13. So I think that also without a technical background, you cannot make much of these tools. You can make, cool clips, but that's about it. So it still needs you. This tool needs you to do something significant. So next time you feel hate mounting towards this kind of art, I hope that you will feel a little bit of love and compassion and curiosity for the future of images, for what they can allow us to do, and not be that scared about humans. Humans are resilient and strong. No form of art ever went extinct, and cinema will be no exception. We will keep thriving, and cinema will probably die even after our species is gone. So if you stayed until now, thank you very much for listening to me. Long live cinema.